Enhance a child's development through valuable relationships. If you look at this first slide, there are many lines, many colors, many shapes, many forms. That is how a relationship should be, full of lines, colors, shapes, forms. But let me start by the beginning. We are first going, during this year, we have read through so many papers. And this is the current knowledge base. This is the current values that are very important between parents, the family, teachers, and the school. The teacher wants to support the parent, but the parents also want to support the teacher. That is a valuable relationship. All parents said that they want the child to be closer to the teacher than they are to the teacher. For the parent, they want program information, that is information about what is happening at school. But they also want to understand that information. The teacher wants the parent to know what is going on in the community, but the parent wants more information on what is going on in the community. Then there is the knowledge exchange. The parent wants the knowledge from the school, but they also expect the teacher to be interested and have knowledge of the culture that their child represents. So these are just a few basic ideas that we can see from a valuable relationship at the moment. We also discussed several theories. Now, policies are built by hypotheses or theories, and the philosopher that I chose that I like a lot is Epstein, and Epstein's overlapping spheres of influence. For Epstein, the child is in the center, and the family and the school must be in a good relationship. The school and the community influence each other, and the family and the community influence each other. But this child is always influenced by all those entities. Because I chose to have my title of enhancing the child through valuable relationships, there we read through so many papers that said that the parents do not always understand or is not fully or does not feel fully valued in the relationship or supported. But some of the times the teachers must also help the parents to have more knowledge. And sometimes the parents just does not know. And I've been a teacher in kindergarten for 15 years in South Africa. And every day I taught so many things to the students through music, through visual art. We did a lot of art projects. We listened to stories. They read picture books. So I've had a lot of experience using different things, but the thing that I really valued is teaching the students through art, through the fine arts. I really believe that the values that the art elements and the art principles and the teaching thereof has for any relationship is very important. And but we also need the senses. The senses is very important in any relationship. And therefore the teacher must support the parents in first focusing the attention on the senses. The senses is the way that we observe the world through our eyes, things that we see, through smelling things, the nose, through the mouth, the taste, and through the skin, how things feel, the touch, the texture. And you will notice that I left off to say the hearing. I just wanted to focus the attention on the fact that one don't need all the senses all the time. Somebody can be deaf and can still develop through the other senses, through observation and the other senses. So it is very valuable for the teacher to teach the parent to from the day that they become a family, that there grows a relationship between the school and the family, is that the parents know that the child can learn a lot through the parents modeling the way of seeing the world. So if the parent live with a child and shows the child how things in life around them in the environment have different lines, different colors, different shapes, if they feel and touch it and they feel the different textures and they see light and dark, then the child learns to trust the parent, because the parent focuses the attention that are important for the parent, so the parents show them, but the parent also look at through new eyes to the world around them. And they learn together and they build that loving, respectful, trustworthy relationship. This is extremely important, that the parent and the child spend time together and use their senses to build that relationship. This will be very valuable when they build the relationship between the family and the school, and when the child goes to school later. Now, art elements is everywhere, and I already spoke about that. Space is an art element, so if we look around in space, the area around us, we can see different lines and shapes and forms. I already mentioned that. And so when the parent focuses the child's attention on this, then the child learns, and through repetition, and if they do it every day and they build that relationship of sharing time together, then they start to read picture books together, and then the child will realize that the shapes, the lines, the textures, the forms that they discussed in the space around them is now visible in the picture book. They also listen with their ears to the stories being read to them, and then when they go to school, the parent will also know that it is very valuable that they get books and read with them, and the child will realize that the the circles, the lines from the print in the book corresponds with the reading that happens every day. And that is just the beginning of early literacy. And because the parent has focused on this importance of the lines, the shapes, and the textures and the forms, it helps the child to understand that this is very valuable when this is very valuable, and they will keep on practicing it with their bodies, like this boy on this slide that shows the letter V with his arms, and he's very proud, and he writes with his finger in the sand. And then they also, because they experienced it, they can now really focus on the further development of literacy, of reading and writing when they go to school. So this is very important to remember. So that is why I focus a lot on the elements of art. And then we're also going to look at the art principles. Through the art principles, the child learns valuable early learning concepts. That is important later for STEM teaching in the school later. Like I said, if they go through repetition every day, they look at things together. So through repetition, they listen to the same songs, they sing the same songs. Then through the repetition, they later learn there are patterns to things in life, like color patterns. And when they go to school, when the teacher explains to the parents to do more patterning or some math exercise, then the parent knows because they've already practiced the patterning skills, and they and very I will say elementary or very easy math problems at home. They also learn proportion, and if they are exposed to it in school, then it's not new to them, and that helps them not to be so stressed out when they enter in the school, into kindergarten or into special education. If you look at the slide, you will see they can learn proportion just by looking at the mountains far away, or the grass that's closer, and later they see it in picture books, and then they also later can then it's not new to them when they do science, or very early science in the school. Contrast, the light and dark, I already spoke about that. Movement, when the child and the parents dance at home and they move according to music, and they do sport together. When they go to school and they do movement, later they can, because they experience it, they can really put it, it's not new, so that when they start writing, that movement from left to right over the page is not difficult for them. Balance, as an art principle, teaches them about biology and science. If you focus your child's attention on the butterfly that flies and the wings are symmetrical, or perhaps you see an insect without a wing, that helps for the child to see that there are a variety of things around him, and together they form a unity, and that we must all race, all color, all ethnicity, we are all a variety of people together in the school, and we can form a unity. But it also helps the parents to use these principles to build a very strong relationship with the school, because they understand it, they can, they feel more in control, and they feel that the learning that these children are doing in school is very valuable, because the teacher shares these art principles, art elements with them. They understand it, they understand the importance of it, and they emphasize to their children that learning is so important, and that if we work hard and we repeat and we just use our senses, then we can build a strong relationship with learning. So the relationship between the family and the school is so important, because the teacher gets information from the family by doing family visits, but also the family or the parents get information from the school, and in that way they understand each other. The relationship becomes a pattern, it comes into a certain rhythm, and it enhances the child. Strong family-school relationships provide a positive atmosphere, attitude, and skill set towards learning throughout a child's life. Let's all become Olympians in relationships. The relationship between the family and the school, and the family and the community and the school. Let's all become the best we can be in our relationships. Let's form strong relationships.